This is Keith Helwig from Cops Corrections Videos. If you like my videos, please hit the subscribe button. I just returned a few days ago from National Police Memorial Week in Washington, D.C. During the past year, 619 names were added to the memorial wall of law enforcement officers who died in the line of duty. Now, this included police officers, correctional officers, park rangers, parole agents, from all 50 states and every territory of the United States. 619 names. There are almost 23,000 names on the wall now of officers who've given their life in the line of duty. This year, COVID took a lot of officers. But it doesn't matter whether they died of COVID, whether they had a heart attack, whether they were in a car accident, whether they were killed as a result of a felonious assault, or if they were shot. The fact of the matter is, they all died in the line of duty. They all died protecting the public. As I go past the wall, I see names of people that I knew. I see the name of Deputy Bruce Green. Now, I can't say that I really knew Bruce that well. I'd run into him on traffic stops. He worked in a neighboring jurisdiction. I was called to the scene the day he was assassinated by a neo-Nazi who had abused his wife and was waiting for the police to show up with an AK-47. As Deputy Green exited his car, this individual opened fire with an AK-47 and killed him. I'm sorry, it wasn't Deputy Green, it was Deputy Williams. But he killed Deputy Williams. That was one of the first police funerals I attended, and it was heartbreaking to see all the people lined up, all the departments, all the brotherhood that was there. Just as when I went to Washington, D.C. this year, it's heartbreaking. At the vigil, you see 35,000 officers standing, holding candles in honor of the officers that have died in the line of duty. I went to the Police Memorial Day service where the president gave a speech, but I won't go into that too much. But while I was sitting there, I saw a young lady walking by, and she was probably in her late 20s, and she was holding hands with a little girl who was 2 years old and another one that was probably 4 years old. And as she got closer, I noticed that she had a ID tag which identified her as the spouse of an officer killed in the line of duty this last year. On top of it, this young lady was pregnant. And it broke my heart knowing that these 3 children would grow up never knowing their father. Or looking at messages on the wall from parents, or from children to their parents, or spouses to their significant other. One that really hit me was a young man drew a picture of himself fishing. And all it said was, "Dear Dad, I miss you. Did you like fishing too?" ? And it had his birthday on it, and it also had the day his father was killed. This young man never knew his father. His father had been killed before he'd even been born. Or to see a 7 or 8 year old girl kneel down and point to a name on the wall and say, "There's Daddy's name," or "There's Mommy's name." Seeing a picture of a young female officer holding an infant, and there's a letter from a little boy, probably 5 or 6 years old, next to it that says, "I love you, Mommy, and I miss you, Mommy." How do you not feel emotional when you see that? How do you not recognize the sacrifice, not only that these officers made, but the sacrifice of their families? There's an organization called Concerns of Police Survivors, and it's something I intend to become familiar with. It's something I intend to become involved in, because this is an organization that is concerned with police survivors. And when I say Concerns of Police Survivors, I don't mean just police officers. I mean correctional officers, parole officers. Anybody in any related law enforcement field can be served by members of Concerns of Police Survivors. There's a lot of organizations out there for survivors. We need to remember them. We need to remember the sacrifice they made. It was a very sobering week. I truly appreciated the sacrifice of the families. I know I've talked to family members, and some of them are still in a state of shock if it just happened. Others it happened years ago, but they still come to Police Memorial Week every year because of the brotherhood they feel and the support they feel. If you know of someone in your department who has suffered a loss because of a line of duty death, reach out to them. If you know someone in your community who's suffering because of a line of duty death, reach out to them. We're all a part of the same brotherhood. Whether you wear a blue uniform, a brown uniform, a sheriff's uniform, a police officer's uniform, a municipal uniform, a correctional officer's uniform, we're all a part of the same family, and we need to support each other. Until next time, this is Keith Helwig from Cops Corrections. Stay safe and watch your back.